Hey everyone, this is Dan from MMORPGtips.com, and in this guide we're talking about making gold while leveling in Classic. So if you enjoy making gold and you're like me and making gold is one of the most important and fun aspects of the game, then it can be good to get a head start just as Classic launches. Both to get your mount and so that you can start investing early. Since the economy is so limited to start with so little gold, then you might be able to find some great deals in the first few weeks with people just wanting to unload some of the gear they get or just the valuable items that they will sell for cheap. And one of the things I enjoyed back in vanilla WoW was just playing the auction house, so I'm gonna try to get a head start when it comes to gold, so I can just start flipping things really early. The first subject we're gonna touch upon is your bank alt, which is gonna be alt that you're just gonna keep in one of the main cities that you can mail stuff to save space on your main character. So I like to make an orc if I'm horde and run him up to Orgrimmar, or a human and run into Stormwind. And then you should really get enchanting on your bank alt. You don't have to level up enchanting, you can just disenchant everything from the get-go. And that way you can disenchant the greens and stuff that you send to your bank alt, even if you don't have enchanting on your main. Speaking of professions, you also have to get some for your main character, and for making gold while leveling, the best ones are skinning and mining. You can swap one out for herbalism if you really want to, but it's not as good as mining. Since there won't really be an economy at all until a few weeks in, I would just recommend that you vendor everything that you skin and mine in the beginning, as you won't have room to keep it all and you won't make that much more if you save it. It's better to have the raw gold so that you can spend it on other things. Next up, there's bag space, which is important both for making gold and for leveling fast. You want to have as much space available as possible so that you don't have to run back and sell or mail all the time. So if you come by cheap bags, you can buy some, but there are also quite a few quests that will reward you with bags. The gold guide on MMORPG tips that I will link in the description has a list of all the bag quests. Then there's food and drink, and you always want to have the best ones available, as that's important for leveling speed and grinding speed. And I just heard someone say that at level 40 you will have spent like 15 gold just on food and drink, so you can save that by trying to get food and drink from a mage. So having a mage friend is really good. Last one, very important, don't buy any gear. You get what you need from quests, and if you want some better gear, you should go and hit up a dungeon. And that way you get XP, you get gold, and you get better gear. And the last one is don't get all your skills. Just do your research and find out what you need and what's essential for leveling. There's a bunch of skills that are just a waste of time up to level 60. And a waste of gold, and you shouldn't just be clicking to get all your skills to max all the time. So let's get on to the actual farms. The first one is just a minor thing that I wanted to add, and it's not a farm that you should do if you're trying to level quickly. It's mostly just for fun if you want some extra gold to spend right at the beginning. Maybe you're a casual player or you just like having a bit of extra gold from the start, and that is by doing copper ore farms in either Durotar for Horde or Elven Forest for Alliance, or just any zone that you start close to. You'll make about 5 gold per hour. The routes are also posted on MMORPG tips, so I'll leave a link in the description for that as well. Most players will probably just want to skip this, and there's not really any worthwhile farms early on. You should just focus on getting to around level 20. Questing to level 20 is pretty fast. If you have to grind a bit, try grinding beasts and just skinning and vendoring them up to a level a little over 20 before you can start doing some gold farms. So the first farm for Alliance and for Horde, if you want to travel a bit, is in the Wetlands. The whelps in the area marked on the map. Whelps have really low HP and armor, so they're very easy to kill compared to other mobs. They're also dragonkin, so their loot tables are above average. They drop the small flame sack, which is of course needed for the fire resistant potions. And they have a small chance of dropping the tiny crimson whelpling, which isn't something that you should count on getting, but if you do, that's a good gold bonus. Right next to it is actually the next gold farm at around level 25 plus, which is Welgar's excavation site. Tons of raptors, really good for skinning. You will get a lot of medium leather here. So if you just want to grind, you can move from the whelps and to the raptors. And back and forth if you want to as well, or if one area is taken. If you're Horde, you can go to 1000 Needles at around level 25 and kill centaurs. They have a great loot table. They'll drop a lot of good value vendor trash items. So even before the economy is up and running, you can make good gold here while grinding. Next up, there's some farms that are good for both factions. Stranglethorn Vale is of course a famous zone where people will do a lot of leveling. The humanoids around the Curson compound are good for making gold, and you can move into the cave after a while. You will get a good amount of cloth and herbs around here, and you can do some mining as well. All kinds of like tigers and cats around the Stranglethorn Vale is also good for gold. And if you're here, you can move a bit south to the Ventura Co area close to the lake, and you can kill the shredders here for the fused wiring, which is valuable due to that you use them in some recipes. Then there's Swamp of Sorrows. You can kill swamp jaguars all over the zone for skinning. You'll get heavy leather and thick leather from these, and this can also be combined with farming the dreaming and adolescent whelps in the south corner. Like the other whelps, these have a good loot table. They're easy to kill. I should have mentioned both these farms are around level 35. You'll get some small flame sacks, and you'll get the good loot because of their dragonkin loot table, and you'll have a small chance at the tiny emerald whelpling here. Sometimes there's also a chest that spawn in the cave to the south. Then it's time to move back to Stranglethorn Vale for Cold Eye Basilisks, which is great for thick leather and heavy leather, and you can also get the trinket Cold Basilisk Eye here. This is for around level 38. At 40 plus, you have a great farm opening up for you in the Arathi Highlands with the different elementals. The burning ones are the best ones generally, as you need them for fire protection potions. This farm is even still good at level 60. At launch, it might be best to save these depending on the economy. At 40 plus, there's also more whelplings with more small flame sacks. Easy to kill like the previous ones with a good loot table and with the chance at getting the dark whelpling. So as you're level 40 now, you will be able to afford your mount hopefully. And gold grinding might not be your main focus now for a while, as you don't need much gold until level 60, and a lot of good grinding spots will open up for you. There's not that many good spots in your 40s. If you have some good tips, please let me know in the comments. But at around level 50, a couple of good spots opens up in Fellwood. You can do Anger Claw Bears for thick leather, rugged leather, and warbear leather. This is also a great area to combine with the herbalism. There's of course also the great Jadefire Satyrs camp, and there's actually two camps. There's one to the south as well that I just forgot to mark on the map. These are around level 52 plus, and you'll get a lot of rune cloth and some fell cloth, which is of course very good for making gold. There are more satyrs in Ashara, the Lagashi satyrs, one of my favorite zones to farm gold in. Also great to combine with mining or herbalism. These will also drop fell cloth, so that's great for making gold. In the same area there's also the Thalassin base camp, which have a great loot table and also drops a lot of cloth. Next up at level 52 plus, 56 plus for the monstrous plague bats, but around 52 for the normal ones. The normal ones are to the north. Another great skinning location. You'll get a bunch of thick leather and rugged leather from this place. At level 55 plus, you can farm ogres in Deadwind Pass. They can be easily AoE farmed by mages. They have a good loot table, and I think there's a recipe that drops here as well. So those are the spots to make gold while leveling. Your focus now should just be to get to level 60, as a lot of better spots open up for you depending on your class. If you still want to farm, you can go to Winterspring, and there's some camps there, do the Yetis there or something. The gold guide on mmorpgtips.com has a lot more spots listed for level 60 that you can hit up when you get there. That guide is already packed with information, and I'm gonna keep that updated with the community feedback and as I progress into Classic. So all questions and suggestions regarding gold farming is much appreciated. Also, likes and subs to the channel are a huge help and will help me with running mmorpgtips.com. But that's it for now, and I will see you guys in Classic.